I just got my hands on my first proper Kong figure. G'day guys, Daikaiju Down Under here, and in today's video we're going to unbox and review the Hiya Toys Beast Glove Kong from Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Now, full disclaimer guys, what you're seeing is some sped up footage of the initial unboxing of this figure. I'm commentating over this entire video because the original audio quality was beyond terrible and I don't want to re-record everything, including a fake staged unboxing. Now, I will say the box on this one is rather boring compared to Hiya's other figures, but we're here for the figure that's inside the box, not so much the box itself. So, how did I feel about this figure when unboxing it? I can say during the initial unboxing, I was surprised at just how large the figure was. Kong definitely has some good weight to him, and that was the first thing that jumped at me before really seeing the figure up close. I was also blown away by the alt hands for Kong. We got some fists, some open hands, semi-open hands, and even some knuckle walking hands, which was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting to get a Beast Glove knuckle walking hand, so I definitely had a lot of fun posing the figure using that particular accessory. Now, the main figure itself was also quite surprising. I had seen some collectors talking about the eyes being similar to the Hammond Collection Rex figure. I've never seen that figure in person, so this figure here was my first experience seeing that effect outside of the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1962. It's a cool effect, but before I spoil how I feel about the figure outright, I guess we should start taking a proper look at the figure. Kong here looks great. The sculpt is pretty accurate to what we see in the movie, which is fantastic, and Hiya has managed to sculpt Kong's underlying musculature under the fur, which was definitely surprising to see. The fur itself also has some nice flowing texture to it. It's nice and wavy. The paint on the fur specifically helps add detail. Kong is dry brushed in a mud brown, yellowish sort of color all over. It looks okay. It's a little heavy-handed in some spots, which is unfortunately a common issue with Hiya figures, but overall it does look great, especially from afar. The bare elements on Kong, like the bits of the character that don't have fur on them, you know, his hands and his pecs, these also look great. These areas are well sculpted, textured, and detailed. Take the scars on Kong's chest, for example. These are raised details with a reddish-brown paint application that's not too in your face, but there's also a lot of tiny hidden details and texture present here too, which is very nice to see. I love how Hiya included the scar on Kong's back as well, courtesy of Godzilla himself. That looks gnarly, well sculpted, and again, well painted. The feet are a little lacking in detail, however, but all the sculpted details that are present there do look great. Again, bravo Hiya, and the head sculpts in particular have got to be a highlight on this figure. This head captures Kong's general stoicism rather nicely, and the way the light catches those eyes really does bring this figure to life. The roaring head also looks great. Kong looks appropriately ferocious. The brow, the teeth, the jaw are all nicely sculpted too. Unfortunately, the silver tooth on my copy isn't painted all the way up, but that's nothing a Gundam marker couldn't fix. The gritting teeth head is definitely the weakest of the three, with Kong's brow unfortunately really overshadowing those eyes. The teeth aren't the cleanest here too, and they kind of blend together, so you can't really capture that gritting emotion that I think Hiya Toys was really going for. But the three heads here do look very, very nice overall. Now, let's talk about the Beast Glove itself, which is obviously the main draw of this figure. I was worried we would get more of Hiya's rather cheap looking paint applications here, but thankfully Hiya really took some time on the main draw of this figure, which is nice to see. The glove is very well sculpted, with that great sculpt continuing to each of the alt hands, all of which are packed with mechanical details, like on the fingers for example. The orange-yellow paint chosen for the main gauntlet itself looks great. It's not too bright, but it's bright enough not to be drowned out by the brown rust wash and silver dry brushing also present on the device. The only thing missing is the small logo and warning signs, and even then we do get a tiny little something. I love the moving parts on the gauntlet too, like these hinges and these parts at the elbow that rotate when articulating the joint. So all in all, I think the gauntlet turned out really, really nice, and that's definitely, again, really nice to see, considering that this piece is definitely the main draw for this particular Kong figure. Now, let's just jump right into the articulation. Kong has two joints that make up his head articulation, one ball joint at the base of his skull and another where the neck meets his torso, allowing for some great up and down and side to side movement. The torso itself has two ball joints, one cut just below his pec and the other around his abs, so Kong can get a nice ab crunch and rotation. The left shoulder is well articulated, there's also a bicep swivel present, and Kong has a double bend at the elbow, allowing you to get a deep bend and completely straighten out that arm. There's also two joints at the wrist, one of which at the base and the other where we pop off the hands for the accessories. The Beast Glove arm is pretty much the same, but because of the gauntlet, Kong can't bend his arm quite as much as his left, and the shoulder joint seems to be ever so slightly loose thanks to the weight of that gauntlet itself. Now, the legs do leave just a little bit to be desired. The hips are rather limited with their movement because of the simple ball joint used, and the double bend at the knee only lets you bend about 90 degrees, which is unfortunately disappointing to see. The real posability issues, however, come from the ankles. The range of movement here just isn't quite there, and without a toe bend to help compensate, Kong suffers from some stability issues. But all in all, I'd say the articulation is still pretty good on this figure. And just like that, guys, I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say about this figure. It has some fantastic detail, some pretty good paint, it articulates well, and comes with some really nice accessories. It also looks great alongside the Hiya Toys Godzilla Evolved, which is definitely a plus because I do plan on having these two paired together on the shelf. I paid about 110 Australian dollars for this thing off of AliExpress, and I'd say it was worth it for what we got in the end. Overall, I'm very happy with how this figure turned out, and I'm honestly tempted to pick up the standard Kong too. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this figure, and do you like this more scripted format? I know I definitely sound like a little bit of a robot, and this video isn't quite what we're used to doing here on the channel. A lot of that's coming from my inexperience writing my own script and actually sitting down and recording a video like this. So if you do want to see more videos in this sort of format, let me know. I'll try to improve the format as best I can. I'm always looking forward to your guys' feedback in the comment section below. And with all of that being said and done, guys, I've been Daikaiju Down Under, and I'll see you all in the next video.